The new iPhone 17 lineup is here, and it changes everything we know about what we can expect from each iPhone model, with a supercharged iPhone 17 with lots of Pro features, a new iPhone Air model which combines Pro power with the thinnest iPhone design ever, and a beefed up iPhone 17 Pro. There are more distinct choices than ever before, which may have you confused about which model to get. Well, luckily, you found this video, and I am going to guide you through all the key differences between every iPhone model, some things to look out for, and a few things Apple did not mention in their presentation that might just change your mind on which iPhone to buy. Now, the first thing you can't be fooled by is battery life, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I might be fooling myself if I am believing Apple's specs, but you may have heard all around the internet that the iPhone Air battery is going to be terrible, and from what I can see, that may not be the case. Because Apple lists the iPhone Air as having 27 hours of video playback, which is the same rating as the iPhone 16 Pro and the iPhone 16 Plus. And it's actually 1 hour more than the iPhone 16e, and the crazy part is, it's rated as 5 hours more than the regular iPhone 16. Now yes, compared to the iPhone 17 with its 30-hour rating, the iPhone 17 Pro with its 33-hour rating, which is the same as the 16 Pro Max, and the iPhone 17 Pro with its insane 39 hours of battery life, the Air's battery life does look bad in comparison, but that is only in comparison to the latest iPhone models. So the iPhone Air's battery life may not be as bad as we all initially thought. I mean, it does have that new C1X modem, which is supposed to be super efficient, so maybe that helps save on even more battery life, even with the smaller battery capacity. Now, even though the C1X is efficient, one of the reasons that is because it does lack the 5G millimeter wave, which is the fastest 5G cellular service that is on both the iPhone 17 and iPhone 17 Pro. But I did find it kind of strange at the event when Apple said the Air had all-day battery life and then immediately showed off the MagSafe battery accessory like it was a necessity for this phone. But yeah, based on these ratings, which is all we have to go on right now, it seems like the battery life for the Air is more than passable. What may not be passable is something you probably didn't even consider when buying a new iPhone model, and that is the speaker, because usually every iPhone model has the same speaker setup, a top firing speaker and a bottom firing speaker, but this year, the iPhone Air model differentiates itself by only having one top firing speaker from the earpiece and lacks the more powerful bottom firing speaker. I have no idea how this is going to sound, but I just know it is definitely going to sound worse than the other iPhone 17 models, which is probably why Apple didn't talk about this at their event and doesn't even include it as a differentiating feature when you go to compare iPhone models on Apple's website. Now, another thing you can't be fooled by this year is the display, because for years we have become accustomed to the higher end Pro phones having the best display by a long shot. But this year, every single iPhone, from the iPhone 17 to the Air to the most expensive Pro Max model, all have the same exact display specs. Yep, every iPhone gets an always-on OLED display with 120 Hz ProMotion for super smooth animations, complete with a new max brightness rating of 3000 nits, or 1000 nits higher than the iPhone 16 Pro, and all the new iPhone models get a new anti-reflective display coating. The normal iPhone 17 even has the same 6.3-inch display size with smaller bezels as the iPhone 17 Pro, meaning that if you primarily used to buy the iPhone Pro models only for the more advanced display, well, this year you can save yourself $300 by just going for a normal 17 model. There is literally no difference in the display. Now, if you want a bigger iPhone display, the Plus model from last year no longer exists, so the next step up is the iPhone Air with a new 6.5-inch display size, which is smaller than the Plus model. And then the next step up from that is the iPhone 17 Pro Max with its massive 6.9-inch display. Now, there's also unique color choices when picking from the iPhone lineup, and this gets strange real quick. So the iPhone 17 has a good amount of colors like lavender, sage, mist blue, white, and black. The iPhone Air gets 4 color options: sky blue, light gold, cloud white, and space black. But then it gets really weird because the iPhone 17 Pro has silver, cosmic orange, and deep blue. Yeah, there's no black Pro iPhone model this year. I guess orange really is the new black. Now, over the years, you may have also been accustomed to the fact that the Pro iPhone models come with more premium metal designs. For the iPhone 10 through the iPhone 14, it was stainless steel. For the iPhone 15 and iPhone 16, it was titanium. But this year, the iPhone 17 Pro is actually switching back to aluminum, which is the same material Apple uses on the normal iPhone models. Now, Apple says that this is a new unibody aluminum frame, which does come with some benefits, like helping to dissipate heat better, but the point still stands that the Pro model is no longer the option with the premium materials. It is no longer the best looking iPhone. It is no longer the fashion statement that it used to be. That now belongs to the iPhone Air model, and the Air is the one that gets the premium metal titanium design. And it is the only iPhone using this material. And that is good news for the Air's design, because with a phone design that thin at 5.6 millimeters, it will need a stronger metal than aluminum to ensure that it does not fail any bend tests. And yes, I do not expect the iPhone Air to bend. In fact, when it comes to durability, it looks like the iPhone Air is even more durable than the normal iPhone 17 model, because it shares the same ceramic shield back as the iPhone 17 Pro, which makes it more resistant to cracks from drops. Although every iPhone model does get the new ceramic shield, which has 3 times better scratch resistance, and I am happy for that because my iPhone 16 Pro Max scratched up like crazy this year. Now, one other thing you need to consider for this buyer's guide isn't just which iPhone 17 you should buy, but you also need to consider which case should you get. Well, I'll make that one easy for you because this Taurus O-Stand Q3 Air case is the perfect match for any iPhone 17 model. It combines the best of both worlds, giving you a phone case that is durable and will actually protect your phone with Taurus's Air Max cushioning technology, which is designed to absorb shocks even from drops as high as 12 feet, while also keeping the case slim and lightweight. And the case also feels great in my hand with Taurus's dot matrix anti-slip design, adding a tactile feel and grip so my iPhone doesn't easily slip out of my hand, and each case is also perfectly fitted and hugs the iPhone 17 so every button press feels right and completely protects every aspect of your phone. And my favorite part about a Taurus case is, of course, it comes with the built-in O-stand. Now, this is built from aluminum. It is strong enough to grip and hold your iPhone, durable enough to withstand over 30,000 folds. The O-Stand can help you capture cute moments like playing with your dog, recording a healthy workout, and even catching up with your friends during a video call. To pick up a Taurus Q3 Air case for your new iPhone 17, check out the link in the description, and thank you to Taurus for sponsoring this video. Of course, one difference you know to look out for at this point with every new iPhone release is the chip differences between the models. And yes, as you would expect, the iPhone 17 comes with an A19 chip, and the iPhone 17 Pro comes with a more powerful A19 Pro chip. Now, you might expect the iPhone Air, the thinnest iPhone ever, to stick with the less demanding A19 chip. However, it also gets the A19 Pro chip, just like the Pro model. I think most people will look at this and think that it gets the same exact performance as the iPhone 17 Pro. However, don't be fooled, that is not the case. First of all, you are missing a GPU core on the iPhone Air. It only comes with 5, while the Pro comes with 6. Secondly, not only is the 17 Pro much thicker than the Air, but it also has new vapor chamber cooling tech that works with the aluminum unibody frame to help dissipate more heat for better sustained thermal performance. Basically, the Pro will be more efficient at cooling itself, and that will not only just lead to better performance, but it will lead to things like higher levels of sustained brightness for longer periods of time, less thermal throttling when charging, and there's less of a chance of your phone getting crazy hot when you're holding it in your hand. Now, one other thing that I am less confident about, but I still think is a good theory based on the information we have now, is that the iPhone 17 may actually perform better than the iPhone Air, even though the Air has the A19 Pro chip and the 17 has the A19 chip. Because another thing I noticed was that the A19 in the iPhone 17 has the same 6 CPU cores and 5 GPU cores as the iPhone Air's A19 Pro, which kind of makes me wonder, what is the real difference between these chips if they have the same cores? Is the iPhone Air just not a regular A19 chip with a fancy name thrown on those specs? My theory is that the A19 Pro chips come with 12 gigabytes of memory, while the regular A19 comes with 8 gigabytes memory. And yes, that might be the only difference between the chip in the Air and the chip in the normal 17 model. All right, let's talk about cameras because there's definitely some details Apple left out, and one of them makes me very upset. First of all, every new iPhone model gets the new 18 megapixel front-facing camera with a new square camera sensor. That is actually pretty cool because it can automatically crop in with the center stage feature to dynamically zoom in and out to fit people into the frame, and you can even switch from portrait to landscape selfies without rotating the phone. Flip over the iPhone models and yeah, you can clearly spot the camera differences. The iPhone Air only has a single 48 megapixel camera on the back with a 2x digital zoom mode. Then the cheaper iPhone 17 has a 2-camera system with an additional 48 megapixel ultra-wide-angle lens that can now do macro photography, and the iPhone 17 Pro has the best camera system with an additional 4x telephoto lens. Now, this lens is also a 48 megapixel sensor, which lets the iPhone camera system crop in on that higher resolution to give you a 12 megapixel shot at 8x zoom. Basically, this is the highest zoom range we have ever had on a Pro model. But yeah, this year it's pretty straightforward. It's really easy to understand the camera systems considering all lenses share the same megapixel count, and the only difference is the number of lenses they have on the back and what each lens does. Except for the fact that Apple may have put an A19 Pro chip in the iPhone Air, but they do not let the Air utilize the Pro RAW photo mode or take ProRes video. And that was a big disappointment to me. As someone that is interested in the Air model, possibly moving away from my Pro model, I thought because the Air had the Pro chip in it, it would be capable of using those Pro video modes, and it doesn't. And I don't understand why it isn't an option for the Air. Like, maybe most users won't use this mode, but the chip is the A19 Pro. It should be able to do all the Pro features of that chip. This is definitely like a software locked feature. I have no idea why Apple is not giving us these Pro formats on the iPhone Air. It is a $1,000 phone. It has the A19 Pro. I think it should be able to access all of those features. Now, the only reason I can think why Apple did not include this feature is because of another frustrating decision on the Air and normal iPhone model, and that is the pitiful, slow USB 2 speeds that both of these iPhones still have. So even if you could take ProRAW photos or ProRes video, you would have a hard time getting them off the iPhone Air with that super slow 480 megabits per second. Only the iPhone 17 Pro gets the faster USB 3 speeds. And just to kick the Air while it's down, it also cannot record in cinematic video mode. I guess because it doesn't have the additional lens on the back. I guess that also means it cannot shoot spatial video mode. So if you own a Vision Pro, I'm sure you're disappointed by that. So that's not many of you. So I guess a few of you are upset. Now, besides that, the 17 Pro does have some other features over the 17 and the Air. First of all, it can now shoot ProRes RAW for even more quality and control. And it can also shoot 4K at 120 frames per second, while all the other iPhone models max out at 4K 60. The iPhone 17 Pro also has the same studio-grade quality microphones as the 16 Pro. These sound amazing. You can really record a great sounding voiceover with just these microphones. It was one of my favorite features on the iPhone 16 Pro, but sadly, it is not on the normal 17 or the Air models. All right, let's get down to pricing. This is going to be the major deciding factor for most people, and let's start with the 17 because this is a great value this year. I honestly think the price to feature ratio is the best out of any of the new iPhones, especially with double the base storage at 256 gigabytes for $800. That is such an easy recommendation. Now, one of the things about the iPhone 17, which is kind of a weakness, is there is only one other storage tier at 512 gigabytes, and it is a $200 jump to get 256 gigabytes more, which is a lot. But thankfully, I think most users will be fine with the base storage option. After that, we get the iPhone Air. This starts at the same starting storage, but gets a price hike all the way to $1,000. Now, it also has a 512GB storage option for $1,200 and a 1TB option for $1,400. Now, picking between the 17 and the Air is an interesting choice because the Air is an upgrade and a downgrade at the same time. Sure, you get a thin design, which I love, you get a bigger display, and you get the A19 Pro chip. However, there's also a lot of downgrades going for this phone. You don't get an ultra-wide angle camera, and you get lower battery life than the normal 17, and that is kind of a hard pill to swallow at a $200 price increase. So yes, the iPhone Air is beautiful. It is definitely for people that want a cutting-edge phone design, for people that value thinness and lightness, but just be made aware, you are paying more for technically less. Okay, so maybe you made the decision to get the Air, but you're also looking at the iPhone 17 Pro and you notice it's only $100 more to upgrade to the Pro. Should you? Well, this is actually a pretty easy recommendation too, because if you want the pro level iPhone with a bigger battery, a 4x telephoto lens, pro camera formats, faster USB-C port, and the advanced cooling system of the Pro model, if any of that interests you, well, I think the $100 upgrade is actually a no-brainer. It is well worth it. Just be made aware that you are not getting the thin design of the iPhone Air. In fact, you are getting a rather thick phone. You are getting the thickest iPhone since the iPhone 4. The Pro also has the same storage tiers as the iPhone Air, maxing out at 1TB, but don't forget, you also have the 17 Pro Max, and you want to get this phone if you want the iPhone with the biggest possible display and the iPhone with the best battery life. It sounds insane with that 39-hour rating. And another crazy thing about this phone is even though it starts with the same 256GB of storage for $1,200, you can also max this out to 2TB of storage for $2,000. Yes, there is now a $2,000 iPhone model. You can buy 2 iPhone Airs for the price of one 2TB iPhone 17 Pro. I think that puts into perspective how expensive that Pro Max model is. And that is my updated iPhone 17 buyer's guide video. I really hope you learned something new in this video, and I hope it helped you make a more informed purchasing decision. If it did, please leave me a like. If you want to see more, make sure you're subscribed. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for giving me your time. And I will see you all, hopefully, in the next video if you didn't unsubscribe after watching this long video.